Good day to all viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Before we jump right in, kindly hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our live updates. Now, let's get straight to the story you're waiting for. Right now, there's a major protest happening in Abuja. We're seeing large numbers of protesters, many identified as supporting the cause of the Nnamdi Kanu and the movement for Biafra, gathering and making their demands known. Let's unpack what is going on, why it matters, and what could happen next. So first, what is the protest about? The protest is primarily for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the group Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. He has been detained by the Department of State Services, DSS, since June 2021 and faces charges of treasonable felony and terrorism. The protesters argue that court rulings have ordered his release, yet the government has not complied. For example, the Court of Appeal had cleared him in 2022, but the government insisted on continuing his detention. Groups like Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra, MASOB, have declared their full support for the protest, calling it non-violent and demanding his unconditional release. Where and how is the protest unfolding? The demonstration is centered in Abuja, particularly around key government zones. But there's a big caution. The Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies have put up roadblocks and deployed officers in strategic places such as the National Assembly Complex, Force Headquarters, Eagle Square, Shehu Shagari Way, and others. Also, the courts are involved. On Friday, the Federal High Court in Abuja approved the protest, but placed certain restrictions. Protesters are barred from assembling near extremely sensitive government locations, like the Presidential Villa, National Assembly, etc. There is reported confusion in the southeast region about how to respond to the protest. Some businesses and schools are uncertain whether to shut down. The region is on edge. Why is this happening now? It's a mix of political, legal, and regional grievances. The detained leader, Kanu, remains in custody despite favorable rulings, which many see as a violation of due process and rule of law. The protesters and pro-Biafran groups argue there is systemic marginalization of the southeast region of Nigeria, and this protest is both about one man and the broader question of regional inclusion and rights. The timing comes as civil society, activists like Omoyele Sowore, who is involved in mobilizing the protest, are pushing for more visible action. Sowore has emphasized that the protest will proceed. What are the demands, and what is at stake? The demands: immediate, unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, respect for court judgments and the Constitution, dialogue and inclusion of the Southeast region, addressing grievances. What's at stake? For the government, the optics of ignoring court decisions and civil rights can harm legitimacy. If protests escalate into violence, there are risks of unrest. For the protesters, it's a chance to visibly mobilize for their cause, but also the risk of crackdown or confrontation, especially with the police on alert. Nationally, this event touches on issues of federalism, human rights, rule of law, and regional trust in the system. What about the security response? The police have been instructed to be on high alert, deploy tactical units, covert operatives, etc. ahead of the protest. The message was circulated nationwide. The court-ordered restriction means protesters must avoid certain no-go zones. Failure to comply could lead to clashes or arrests. Key questions and possible scenarios. Will the protest remain peaceful and within the bounds of the law as organizers plan? If yes, it can make a strong statement without violence. Could the protest spark wider regional unrest, especially in the southeast, if grievances boil over? How will the government respond? Will they engage the protesters, initiate dialogue, or adopt hardline enforcement? What will this mean for the rule of law and public trust? If a detained person remains in custody despite favorable court rulings, it sends a message about power and accountability. Before I continue, just a reminder, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you get all updates. and share this video so more people stay informed. I'll now go a bit deeper into the history and context, so you fully understand how we got here and why it matters, and then we'll wrap up with what to watch next. Historical context. The Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, was founded in 2012 by Nnamdi Kanu. The group's objective is the restoration of the defunct Republic of Biafra, which existed between 1967 to 1970. The civil war in Nigeria ended that republic, but the memory and perception of marginalization remains strong in the southeast region. Over the years, there have been repeated protests, sit-at-homes, clashes with security forces, especially following arrests of Kanu, his legal battles, allegations of treason, and debates over how the region is treated by the federal system. Thus, the current protest isn't happening in a vacuum. It's shaped by years of activism, historical grievances, legal wrangling, and regional identity politics. What to watch in the coming hours. How many show up for the protest, and where exactly they march, whether they abide by the court restrictions or attempt to access restricted areas. The response of the police and other security agencies. Will they let the protest proceed peacefully, or will there be arrests or dispersals? Messaging from government officials. Will there be engagement or simply enforcement? What will be the tone? Whether any unexpected events happen, disruptions, sit-at-homes in the southeast, counter-protests, or attempts to hijack the protests. The media and international reaction. Civil society and foreign missions are watching. That can raise pressure. Finally, whether this protest triggers a broader conversation on governance, regional inclusion, and the rule of law. It is a live moment where many facets of Nigeria's politics, law, regional dynamics, and democracy converge. For viewers, this means staying informed and aware of how things evolve. I'll keep monitoring and bringing updates. Again, if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe, and activate the notification bell so you won't miss the next update. Share it too if you can. Let's have the conversation together.